tonight you can have the whole afternoon devoted to discussing how we are doing as an industry in sub-Saharan Africa. And, in her summation, that's the issue that got me to ask her that question. We have, certainly as Africa, we have our own challenges, Ebola and whatever, but the rest of the world have their own challenges. The whole of Europe is eminently going to war. So I then ask, how is that affecting Europe and what's going on in Europe? I don't want to talk about what happens in the East, and so that's why I asked that question within that context. So it's not my space to be able to say anything else. I just thought maybe I should ask that question. So we are moving on very quickly to our next session, which is supposed to inspire us and give us some little bit of vuma to get going through this afternoon. So it gives me great pleasure to invite to the stage Dr. Jim Horan. You can read more about Jim and what he does in his day-to-day activities in Dallas, Texas, but he's here to talk to us about leadership in peak performance. Jim?
Is everybody awake? Very good. Right over here, please. Guess which one of us is James Horan? Now, you've kindly agreed to help me, right? Pick a chair, any chair. Just get comfortable. Yes, it's true. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Yes, it's true. I'm a workplace psychologist. And yes, I'm psychoanalyzing all of you right now. Not really, though. I actually hope to learn from you. Thank you so much. Is it coming up? Great. Do I look like a workplace psychologist? No. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? All I knew about Africa before I came over was it was called the Dark Continent. Why is it called the Dark Continent? This is the part where you tell me why it's called the Dark Continent. It's your continent, people. Okay, I'll go to Wikipedia later. But they really should be calling it the burgeoning continent, or at least the burgeoning market. I just did a little research before I flew over from McKinsey about the economy here and how it's a very strong regional and domestic economy. The potential is huge. The opportunity is huge. And that's before we even get to scratching the surface of international tourism. But now, as a behavioral scientist, I have to ask myself, what kind of people are going to lead the charge? What kind of people are going to drive that growth? What kind of leaders at the senior level are also going to help mine for talent at the lower levels? People that are going to execute the strategy, meet the service demands, and hopefully have the talent to be developed into senior leaders themselves. Maybe you've had these kinds of issues in your mind as well. Now, at a hotel investment conference, usually it's weird to have a workplace psychologist come and address you. But this is about investment, yes? We're also talking about investment in human capital, because people are the product. Now, I'm here to talk to you about how do you recognize hospitality talent, people that are going to make you money, people that are going to lead the charge. And you might be asking yourselves, well, who does Jim think he is? How is he going to have any credibility with us to tell us and answer this kind of question? Fair enough. If you're bored, later, go to Google, type in my name, James Horan Psychology. And you're going to see I've done all sorts of things, because I am not just an academic. I'm data-driven like you. I care about metrics and ROI, but I am very much a practitioner. And I am very data-driven. I'm evidence-based. I'm not here to sell books. I'm here to talk to you about what works. And I've done that because I've studied the real world, this dirty test tube we call the real world. How real people are really motivated in the real world. Not rats and maces, not electrodes on your head, none of you on couches. I'm here to talk to you about what works in the real world. And I do that using testing and statistics. I'm a math guy, probably like a lot of you people out there. And when I'm doing a lot of media interviews, usually I get this question. You might be asking yourselves this question too. Workplace psychology, this is just touchy-feely stuff. This isn't real, it's not meaningful. This is just voodoo. Well, I want to just kind of cut to the chase right now, because I'm going to be talking to you about some data a little bit later that's all based on testing and statistics, assessment, surveys, psychometrics, my bread and butter. And if you don't believe any of that, you're not going to believe any of the data. Are you a skeptic? No? You're just saying that, aren't you, dear? Let's do a quick little demonstration here. I want to show you this stuff is real and it's meaningful. You're holding a lock right there, right? I have 4 keys, dear. I want you to take the keys, and I want you to try each key into that lock. Tells me which one works, which one opens it up. And while we're doing that, Muchachi, would you mind helping me? Could you stand up, dear? I want you to point to any guy in the room, needs to have a belt loop, but any guy. You're stealing the show, dear. You're coming up here, fine. All right, I want you to point to any guy your heart desires. Well, no, okay, not that your heart desires. Anyone that, you think would be cooperative. But I want someone that's a skeptic. So if you're a skeptic of workplace psychology, raise your hand. If you're a skeptic, keep your hand down. Someone that you think is a skeptic.
There's a skeptic.
I need a guy with a belt loop. But close. No,
Okay.
I need a skeptic. How are those keys doing, dear?
They're all the same.
They're all the same, right? Did any of them open it up yet so far? No. Okay. Quickly.
I've got James.
James. Which one's James?
I desire. He's the man I desire.
He's the man you desire, and I can see why, dear. Are you James? Nice name, James. Come here. Would you mind helping me with this? Give James a nice big round of applause. Quickly come up here, James. Danielle, I need you to stand right over here, dear. Which one of those keys opened the lock?
One of them.
Not one of them, because I didn't give you this one, dear. I want you to try this key right over here. Great, opens the lock. You keep that key. Keep that handy. And could I borrow your purse for a second? James, could you come over here? I need to borrow your belt loop. You're going to love this, James. Could I borrow your purse?
Are you going to borrow?
I need to borrow just your belt loop. Can I have one of your belt loop on the side? Yeah. Just turn this way. I'm going to take your purse, and I want you to lock it to James.
To James.
Yes, to James. Yes, lock it up there. Take the picture now. Yeah, this will be in the papers tomorrow.
On the bell.
Yeah, please, or anywhere at this point.
Can I do it on the...
Please, yeah, anywhere, just so he's locked in there with your purse. He's prepared to go to West Africa. We're fine. Very good. Is he locked in?
I'm locked in.
Oh, that's okay. Just hold it. That's okay. We'll leave. No, that's okay. That's okay. We'll just leave it. We'll leave it. That's fine. That's fine. Just put the purse over here. This will be embarrassing enough for him. Stand right here. I want you to take that key that opened the lock and put it into this envelope right here. That envelope looks much like these other envelopes, except it's marked in a very special way. I can tell from a distance that envelope right here. I want you to lock that key in. I want you to lick it, seal it. Very good. Make sure that's sealed. I want you to take each of the other keys, and you can choose whatever envelope you want to put them in. You can put your purse down. James, I grew up in the retail industry. I was a part of a retail family. And my grandmother ran that store. And she was not educated, but she had an amazing ability to read people. She could read them on sight. She had an amazing way of influencing them without them even knowing it. She was the first psychologist I ever met. She never went to college, barely passed high school, but she taught me that psychology is real, if it's done well. If it's done well. We're talking about service standards. We're talking about making an impact. We're talking about driving peak performance. We're talking about motivation. So I'm going to try to do something with you that if this works, this will be pretty amazing. And if it doesn't work, it's all your fault. Come right over here, James. Now you have a lock that's locked to you. Can you show them, please, that it really is there? It really is locked. 4 keys did not open that lock. 1 did. How are you doing on those envelopes? Almost done? I want you to take the other one and start mixing them up. I'm going to have you mark some envelopes in a very special way. I'll ask you some questions. I'm going to write your answers on the envelopes. We're going to mix them up. I'm going to have you eliminate the envelopes one by one until one is remaining. Hopefully it's the one that's going to release the key. But here's the cool part. You won't see how I'm going to influence James. I'm going to try to influence him in such a way that he makes the choices I want him to make. But he won't know what I'm doing, and hopefully if I do it well, you won't know what I'm doing either. Sound good? Let's put it to the test. Did you mix them up? Now, your only job is to stand over here and hold envelopes. You're just like a game show host. You're not to talk. You're not to do any kind of movements. You're not to wink at James. Nothing. You're only going to hold envelopes. Sound good? You're not supposed to talk. You're only supposed to hold envelopes. Okay? Now, this one's open a little bit. Can you kind of stick it? Very good. Mix these up. Would you mind holding this for me for right here? Just hold that for me. James, did you have a pet when you were growing up?
No.
Great. This is going to be a long session. James, what is your favorite season of the year?
Summer.
Summer. I want you to think of one image in your mind that encapsulates summer. And I want you to draw it on an envelope right there for me. It can be a symbol that just means it to you. It doesn't have to be something that everyone will recognize or associate with summer. Very good. Is that a fishing pole? Very nice. Your first envelope. Got it? Very good. I want you to think if money was no object, because the conference is going to pay for this. Money is no object. You could go anywhere in the world today, tonight, have any dish anywhere. Where would you go, and what would you choose? As you're thinking about that, choose a different color marker. It can be the same. It can be whatever you like. And I want you to draw that dish right there, or approximate it. Now, don't tell us what it is. But remember, money is no object. Time is not an issue. You could go anywhere in the world you want to have any dish, courtesy of the conference. Okay? And what do you think this is? Pizza or a cookie? What is it, chocolate chip cookie or pizza?
You're asking me?
Yes, James, what is it?
Ah, this is James. That's sushi.
Sushi. Very nice.
You're a Texan. You don't understand.
Wow, tough crowd. I want you to think of the first person you ever loved in your life. You have that person in your mind? Mm-hmm. You know who that person is. They break your heart?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, we're among friends here, yes? We're not here to judge James, right? No, we're here to help him with a cathartic therapeutic experience. If you could get even with her, what would you do? Now, these envelopes will be destroyed. There will be no evidence of this. I want you to pick a marker, any marker, and I want you can draw out a scene, you can write a statement, but I want you to think of, if you could get back, if you could let her know how bad she hurt you, what would you do, James? I want you to hold this in this hand right here. It's like that. Turn it like this. Thank you. Okay, and what would that be?
Newspaper. I would publish.
Oh, don't date him. 2 more envelopes. I want you to choose another color. It can be any color you would like. Very good. I want you to think of any number between 1 and 100 and subtract 10 and write that number on that envelope. So we will be looking at a number that even you didn't know we would be thinking of. 67. Right over here.